His children, 6 children, are in the courtroom at this point listening to all of this. And the jury was picked knowing that they needed a certain level of comfort to hear these types of descriptions. It was very emotional and really tough to hear, bro.
Is there any message for the alleged victims? Do you apologize on behalf of your father? Do you believe your father's innocent? Do you still support your father during that testimony on behalf of your father?
What exactly did the video shown at that moment capture that even Diddy's own daughter?
That video is arguably the most important piece of evidence because it sets the stage when we're talking about coercion or fraud or force.
We need you to step to the side. Step to the side, please.
Give us a little space. Give us a little space. Give us a little space.
Okay, you are just not going to believe the absolute chaos that apparently went down in that courtroom. Seriously.
Oh, I've been reading about it. It sounds intense.
Intense doesn't even cover it. We're talking a major celebrity trial, right? But it basically turned into this family drama, like imploding in real time.
Fueled by video evidence, wasn't it? Something pretty shocking.
Shocking is putting it mildly. Jaw-dropping stuff.
Yeah.
So bad, it apparently sent Diddy's own kids running out of the room in tears. So yeah, we're diving deep into this whole Diddy situation today.
Focusing on that video.
Yeah.
And the family's reaction.
Exactly. The emotional fallout from this footage that just surfaced, and frankly, the completely unexpected ways his family reacted. It's a lot.
What really strikes me is how fast that whole carefully built family image just seemed to, crumble.
Right.
Porter?
On those drives, the witness says 8 videos featured 8 celebrities at Diddy freak-offs or parties, and that 6 were males, 2 were females. The drive also included a manuscript of an alleged Kim Porter memoir, a memoir that her 4 kids insist is fake.
1 minute is all unity support, the next, it's total disarray.
And the fact that Diddy's kids were there, specifically the daughters, for the very first time since this all blew up, that alone says something.
Oh, definitely. It hung in the air, apparently. Like, everyone knew something big was coming, a promise of revelation, or maybe even a threat,
Revelation feels like the right word. So this video, it's something nobody's really seen before. Pulled from one of these freak-offs.
That's the allegation, yeah. From a controversial freak-off.
Yeah.
And the prosecution, they're basically holding it up like, this is it, this is the proof.
The key to unlocking everything, essentially. The accusations against Diddy, maybe even some deeply buried family secrets tied into it all.
From a legal standpoint, that makes sense. Visual evidence is powerful.
Oh, absolutely. It's one thing to hear someone testify. It's completely different to see something that potentially backs up those claims.
Yeah.
It just hits harder, especially for a jury.
And clearly, it hit the family like a ton of bricks. People inside said the second that video started playing, the whole vibe just shifted. Went from strained to, like, nuclear.
Wow.
Yeah. They described Diddy's kids just staring these really intense gazes, almost like they were bracing themselves for something awful they knew was about to happen.
Which makes you wonder, doesn't it? How much did they already know or suspect? Were they really just there for support, or was there already this, undercurrent of doubt that the video just confirmed?
Good question. And it gets even more uncomfortable, apparently. Almost immediately, Delilah reached over and covered Jesse's eyes.
Oh, wow.
But Justin and Chance, locked onto the screen, just staring. And then there's this detail that just gives you chills. The question floating around, was Kim Porter, their late mother, actually in the footage?
Oh, no. That adds a whole other layer of tragedy to it, doesn't it?
Completely. I mean, imagine seeing your mother who passed away in some kind of compromising situation like that. It would be, I can't even fathom.
Regardless of how she was shown, just seeing her in that context would be incredibly upsetting for her children. Profoundly so.
Upsetting barely scratches the surface.
Yeah.
Because that's when the whispers started. You know that sound in a crowd when something truly shocking happens? That ripple of horror. It spread through the courtroom, and then boom, the daughters Chance, Delilah, and Jesse, they were just gone. Stood up, holding onto each other, and just bolted out, crying.
That quick exit and the emotion, it speaks volumes, doesn't it? It wasn't just awkwardness, it was pure, overwhelming reaction.
Totally. It forces you to ask what exactly was on that footage that triggered that kind of response.
That's the million-dollar question now, isn't it?
Right. Now, we do have some context from Cassie's testimony earlier. She talked about these freak-offs. Remember,
What is a freak-off?
The freak-off essentially was something that Cassie said she learned about through Sean Combs about a year into their relationship. He described it as voyeurism. She met Diddy way back in 2005. She was only 19, just signed to Bad Boy.
The whole rising star narrative. Big promises, big future.
The classic story. Except the way Cassie tells it, it wasn't a dream, it was, and I quote, a trap.
That phrase itself, a trap, just sets a completely different tone, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It speaks volumes about the power dynamics she felt were there from the start. Manipulation, laws of control.
Yeah. And she said about a year into their relationship, he introduced her to these freak-offs. His framing, apparently, was that it was all about, like, voyeurism, exploring boundaries.
Doesn't exactly sound consensual based on her description. She portrayed them as really meticulously planned, totally controlled by Diddy. Not spontaneous fun, but orchestrated events.
Orchestrated down to the tiniest detail.
It depends on where the relationship goes. If it's something that you didn't want to share and it's your secret, it's your secret. I do believe in karma if you're hurting people.
She testified he told them exactly what to wear, usually revealing stuff he picked out, how the lighting had to be, the specific acts they had to perform, and get this, even the precise amount of baby oil they needed to use so their bodies would glisten the way he wanted.
That level of grandeur control is deeply disturbing. It really highlights the power imbalance she's describing. The baby oil detail is so specific, it creates this really unsettling, vivid picture.
And if she objected, threats. She said she felt totally trapped. And these weren't like rare things either. Weekly, she testified, happening every single week.
Weekly?
Yep. And sometimes they'd go on for days, like 36 to 72 hours was standard, apparently. Once she said it lasted 4 full days.
4 days. The psychological toll of that, it's hard to comprehend. That frequency, that duration, it wasn't occasional, it was a fixture. Constant pressure.
And it gets even more twisted. She said she wasn't just, participating, she was forced to organize them.
Organize them.
Her recruiting people through online platforms, sometimes even professional escort services, but under false pretenses. Arranging travel for them, Miami, New York, Vegas. She had to coordinate with his whole team, pretending she was just like an event planner.
That's another level of control, isn't it? Forcing her to facilitate it, it implicates her, makes it harder to leave. It's a really manipulative tactic.
And the whole atmosphere he created, she said it was completely manufactured.
Now with each moment, the testimony became more and more graphic. Her delivery, though, it never changed. It was matter of fact.
Start with candles, make it seem romantic, then suddenly flip to full stage lighting, like filming a movie.
From intimacy to performance. Wow.
And the drug use. She said it was basically mandatory. She even had to text him beforehand to ask which pill he wanted her to take.
The forced drug use just emphasizes the total lack of control she felt she had. It all paints a picture of a very manipulative, coercive environment.
So fast forward to this White Party archive video from 2018. Cassie's lawyers asked to play it. Suddenly, everyone in the courtroom is just glued to the screen.
What did it actually show?
Well, the description is lavish mansion by the sea, neon lights, chaotic scene, loud electronic music. Sounds like a typical, maybe wild celebrity party, right?
On the surface, maybe, but knowing the context.
Exactly. Because apparently what it revealed was much darker. Compromising situations involving celebs, entrepreneurs, models, alleged drug use, unethical behavior, that sort of thing.
The underbelly of the glamour.
Pretty much. And Cassie testified that her role hadn't changed, still being forced to organize these things, terrified that if she refused, he'd leak compromising videos of her. He apparently recorded everything, called it his insurance.
That threat of exposure. Classic coercive control. Using recordings to silence and manipulate people, it creates this cycle of fear.
And then the video cuts. And there's Kim Porter, sitting on a couch, eyes looking vacant, like she wasn't even aware she was being filmed. The courtroom reportedly went dead silent.
Oh, that's chilling. Just the description. A vulnerable Kim Porter. So different from her public image. It immediately raises all sorts of questions.
And her daughters, watching this, absolutely heartbreaking. Chance apparently recoiled, physically covered her mouth. Delilah and Jesse, who'd been trying to stay composed, just froze. Went completely pale.
You can just picture it. Awful.
Delilah was gripping Jesse's hands so tight her knuckles were white. Their eyes kept flicking between their mom on the screen and Diddy. Just panic, anguish, and betrayal. You could almost see it dawning on them.
That reaction is so visceral. It says everything about the shock, the pain. Seeing their mother like that, with that hollow gaze described, it must have just shattered any illusions they had left.
And it inevitably brings up the darker questions, right? Kim died in 2018. officially pneumonia. But now,
Yeah.
seeing this, was that really the whole story? That question is just hanging there now.
Yeah, the timing, the context.
Yeah.
It fuels speculation, even if there's no concrete proof presented here linking the two. Seeing her look unwell in that video certainly makes people wonder.
And Diddy, he apparently lost it right then. Slammed his hand on the table, chair almost tipped over, shouting, "Stop the video now!"
Trying to regain control.
Maybe he was yelling about his children being present, that he couldn't let them see it. But, it was too late. The damage was done.
The genie was out of the bottle.
Totally. As the girls were rushed out, people heard Jessie sobbing. Chance was literally guiding her sisters out, their cries echoing down the hall. Someone said even a juror looked visibly upset. A reporter called it not just a trial, but a tragedy playing out.
That captures it, doesn't it? It became something much more personal and devastating than just legal arguments.
And apparently in the hallway, the sisters had this really raw moment. Delilah crying, remembering lullabies their mom used to sing, and Jessie just whispering over and over, "Why was Mom there? Why?" The suspicion about their own father. You could almost feel it starting.
Wow, that image. The childhood memories clashing with this horrific new reality. It's incredibly poignant. That's the moment their world probably shifted.
Now, of course, Diddy's lawyers tried to push back. During Cassie's cross-examination, they went down the route of, well, you aren't really a victim, look at the lifestyle you had, that Big Ten album deal.
The implication being she went along with it all willingly to keep the perks.
Exactly. Suggesting she participated in the freak-offs to secure her career, her position.
It's a common defense strategy, isn't it? Try to muddy the waters, question the accuser's motives, suggest they benefited somehow.
But Cassie apparently held her ground, stated really firmly she was coerced, that it was, quote, the price I paid to survive. She kept saying Diddy controlled everything. She felt she had no choice.
That price I paid to survive line is powerful. It directly counters the idea of willing participation. It frames it as coercion, pure and simple, stemming from that power imbalance.
The defense lawyer then pushed even harder, asked if she'd ever collaborated with Kim Porter in organizing these things, basically suggesting they were both in on it, enjoying the lifestyle together.
That feels particularly rough, questioning her about Kim Porter right after her kids had that reaction to seeing Kim in the video, and again, trying to dilute the victim narrative by suggesting Kim was somehow complicit too.
Cassie shut that down immediately, said Kim was trapped too, that they were both victims of the same system, feeling like there was no way out. Even Diddy reportedly looked uncomfortable then, shifting around, glancing at his daughter's empty seats.
Cassie defending Kim like that, even amidst her own trauma, is interesting. Suggests maybe a shared understanding, or at least empathy. And Diddy's reaction, maybe a crack in the facade, seeing the empty chairs, the impact.
And the whole family reaction picture, it just gets more complicated. The shock from Chance, Delilah, and Jessie seeing their mom, undeniable. But the public is definitely asking, why were Kim's kids there right then?
The timing is just so specific, isn't it? Was it really just bad timing on a day they chose to show support, or something else?
Because Chance and Justin reacted so differently. While the sisters were falling apart, they stayed composed. Just watching Diddy, it makes you really question what they believe, what their angle might be.
Yeah, the contrast is stark. It definitely fuels all the speculation about the internal family dynamics. That united front they projected after Kim died, it's looking pretty shaky now.
Especially when you think about their backgrounds. Chance isn't Kim's biological daughter, right? Always seemed a bit on the outside looking in. How must she have felt all those years, seeing Diddy publicly focus so much on Kim and her kids?
That's a fair point. Witnessing this could definitely stir up complex feelings for her. Maybe feelings of being excluded or wanting answers about Kim's situation for different reasons.
And then there's Justin, the eldest. Always described as sharp, strategic, almost like he sees the family as a chessboard of power. Rumor has it he learned Diddy's game and maybe even helped quiet down past scandals.
If he's seen as a strategist, his actions take on a different light. Is he protecting the family image? Or pursuing his own agenda? It adds another layer of intrigue.
And here's a key thing. Apparently, Diddy explicitly told the family not to come to the trial.
So they defied him.
Seems like it. Which feeds this growing suspicion. Did Justin and Chance plan this? Orchestrate their appearance specifically to confront Diddy?
A planned confrontation. Wow, that
Okay.
suggests some serious pre-existing doubts or knowledge within the family.
The theory goes, Justin might have been subtly feeding Chance doubts about Diddy, about Kim's death. Then Chance, maybe playing on their emotions, convinced Delilah and Jesse to come without telling them about this specific video, just framing it as showing support for Dad.
That's quite a scenario. Justin using Chance's potential vulnerability to orchestrate a moment of truth. Very calculated if true.
And the rumors get wilder. Some whisper Justin might have been the one who leaked the white party video to Cassie's lawyers, that he's been arranging security for Cassie behind the scenes.
Whoa.
And there's even an alleged text from Justin saying Cassie's the only one who can really speak the truth.
If any of that is true, it points to a massive break within the family, a son potentially working against his father to expose him. That's huge.
After the video played, reports say Chance just stared Diddy down. This intense, steely gaze, like demanding answers without saying a word. And Justin, totally unmoved, almost a look of chilling satisfaction.
Those descriptions are powerful. Chance's glare speaks of confrontation, demanding accountability. Justin's satisfaction suggests maybe he felt a necessary, albeit painful, goal was achieved, a reckoning.
As you can imagine, the internet exploded. Hashtag SkimPorterTruth, hashtag Biddy Secrets trending like crazy, lots of support for Cassie, praising her courage, but also tons of speculation. Is Justin using Chance for revenge? Is Justin just after power? Is Chance just seeking the truth about Kim? It's all over the place.
The public is definitely trying to unravel this complex web. The hashtags show what people are focused on, the mystery around Kim Porter and what else might be hidden.
And bigger picture, this whole trial is turning into this cautionary tale, isn't it? About power, corruption, secrets hidden behind fame and fortune. Those freak-offs have become this really disturbing symbol of alleged absolute control.
Yeah, they represent a potential level of dominance and exploitation that's deeply troubling. The sheer control described, if true, points to a massive power imbalance and a lack of consent.
And it leaves us with those huge, unsettling questions still hanging, right? Were the freak-offs part of something bigger, like a criminal network? And Kim Porter's death? Was it really just pneumonia?
Those are the critical questions looming over everything. If the truth ever fully comes out, the fallout could be immense.
So we're left with this heavy emotional aftermath. The daughter's pain was so visible, and the other kid's motives seemed so complex, maybe even deceptive.
That raw emotion in the courtroom really brought home the human cost. This isn't just about a celebrity, it's about a family grappling with potentially devastating truths about their father, about their mother's memory.
Yeah. And considering how devastating this footage clearly was for the family, it really makes you think, doesn't it? What are the long-term consequences going to be? Legally, sure, but personally, for everyone involved, it's a really sobering thought to end on.